Tom here from FlipAnything USA. Hey, today I want to talk to you a little bit about staying motivated and some of the ways I keep myself motivated, and a little bit about values because I have a genuine interest in real estate. That's part of what keeps me motivated, but learning also. So I talked a little bit about last time about have a word that means something to you for staying motivated. My earlier one was Mowaka, money, women, cars, but today I want to talk to you about just the properties itself and how I've made a fortune doing this stuff, and I'm going to get to you about in a few minutes here about how I kept myself motivated and stimulated. Okay, and starting with zero, but the one thing is, the main thing is be curious. Okay, you got to be curious about what you're doing and be interested in what you're doing. And who isn't interested in making money? Now, some of the questions you want to ask yourself. And I know these answers, but you need to know them for yourself. Is if you're going to buy something, let's say you have $200,000, or you don't have $200,000, but you're going to buy something that say is worth $200,000 or $100,000, any number, it doesn't really matter. One of the things you want to know, and the things I ask myself is, well, because my first building, the first thing I bought a industrial building. Didn't plan on it. I kind of fell into it, and but I realized, hey, this makes sense, and then, on and on. I went on from there. But, so think about, first of all, you can buy anything and flip anything to make a profit, okay? Now, houses, I flip, number one. Houses, I flip. I'll flip anything for a profit, no problem there. But houses, they're a little more unstable. They do go up and down. And so, let me talk a little bit about why that is. See, now, if you had $100,000 or $2,000, think about what do you want to buy, and if you want security, like in other words, as I started to hold property for investment, then the question is, what do I get the most money out of? If I could spend $200,000 on a house, how much rent and income am I going to get? If I spent $200,000 on a duplex or a fourplex, or maybe an industrial building or a commercial building, what's going to give me a better return? Okay. Also, what is going to be more stable? What is going to hold its value? Now, this is really important. So I want you to catch this, because it's not very hard to understand. But these are my thoughts. Houses, that is an emotional purchase. Okay. The value of a house, it goes up based on desire. Okay, what people want, if they really want it, the wife sees herself cooking in the kitchen, the dad looks at the garage and says, oh yeah, I could, rebuild a car, or whatever your dreams are. So houses, I like to flip because they can go up and down in value. To me, they're the most unstable. Okay, now they don't just drop like a rock unless, of course, you're like somewhere where they lay off 10,000 workers. Then the whole area can be devastated like that, all real estate. But in general terms, things kind of go up slowly, and then, they might have a peak and go up a little more, and then, they'll slowly drop down, they'll plateau, things like that. But houses I've seen go up quite high, and then drop, and then come back up, where, and the reason I like so houses I flip for that reason, because they're a little bit like a hot potato. They can go down. Now, if you're going to live in it, you need a place to live, then it makes sense to buy a house again. So let's talk about this, though. So like a duplex, a fourplex, an office, what's great about those is, see, like I said, a house is based on emotion. So, like emotions, they go up and down. So houses I flip. I like to just get rid of them, make my money and go. Now, duplexes and stuff, I'm not a big fan of residential real estate, to be honest, for holding and renting out anyways. I have some for sure, and I've had a lot of it before. I have many apartment buildings. But I don't love residential real estate for holding. So, but the good thing about a duplex or a fourplex or an office or an industrial building or a commercial shopping center, and I have all of these things, is they're based on income. In other words, people that are going to buy a duplex or a fourplex or an office, they're looking at, what is my rate of return? What am I going to get for my money? And so the values don't go wild, because a house, it can be like, oh, we really want it, and then it's a bidding war. But on rental income property, duplexes, residential, whatever rental income property, they're based on income. So they're much more stable, because people are just looking at the numbers and they're going, I'm going to get X for X amount of investment, and that's what I'm going to get. And yeah, maybe things will go up with values and rents will go up, but it's all based on rental income. So there's much more stability there. So for buying and holding, I would much rather have a commercial or industrial building. That's primarily what I own today. Houses and stuff like that, the rents never seem to keep up with the mortgage anyways. So I don't love them for that reason, especially as properties get more valuable, then the rent gets further and further away from justifying the mortgage on more expensive stuff. But you can always flip a house. If you do hold a house long enough, you kind of become a speculator. I don't like to speculate too much. I've done it with some land and things, and I've done real well. But speculation, you're kind of holding for it to go up, but it can go down too. So for that reason, houses, flip, always, in my opinion. I would flip a duplex, a fourplex. I would flip all that stuff too, because I just don't love residential property. I don't love that type of tenant in general. I have, houses and that are good, but in general, it's just not my favorite thing. So let's go back to this again. So values again that are based on emotion, and I'm talking about homes, unstable, because emotion, is based on desire, and that can wane. Income properties, of course, when a price is based on income, it's always going to be much more stable. And so anyhow, but the main thing I want to talk to you about today is just keep yourself motivated by being curious. Call on those houses that you see for sale, but call on the industrial building and call on the place that's for rent. If you see a little industrial building that has something for rent, call and ask, hey, how much is that rent for? Because then you can do the math. Say, how many square feet is that? And then what does it rent for? And then you can do the math on that and go, okay, they get $1 a foot, but but a house of the same value gets 50 cents a foot. I'm talking about rental. These are things that will stimulate your mind, but you'll have a better understanding of what pencils and what you want to invest in, at least what you want to invest in to hold. But again, you got to know values. And that's the only way you can win at this game, because you're looking for deals, and you got to know a deal when you see one. And the only way you're going to know a deal when you see one is you got to know what things rent for. You got to know what things sell for. The difference between a 2-bedroom and 3-bedroom. A lot, a big lot, small lot. I love big lots myself, but not everybody does. You don't get that much more money for a big lot unless you get a lot so big that you can split, which there's other things you should look at too with that. Sometimes you'll find deals where you'll find a house that is reasonably priced, but it's on a big enough lot that you can subdivide. You can cut that lot in two, usually for just a few $100s, because that's just with a simple lot line split. So anyways, but you get your education. Number one, be curious, go look at stuff, and get familiar with values. Ask yourself these questions. What's a better investment in my area, based on the money you put out and the money you get in return on rent. And like I say, this is all part of your education, but that's what I'm going to leave you with today is, be curious, ask about everything, call on stuff that's for rent, get familiar with what properties, what kind of income they bring in for the dollar spent, and of course just the general values in general of what people are willing to pay. So that's it for now. FlipAnything USA. Please subscribe. Tell your friends to subscribe, your family to subscribe. You can keep each other motivated. I don't sell books. I don't sell mentorship. I'm here just to help and show, but I'm really not interested in doing any deals with anybody. So please don't ask. Thanks a lot, and that's it for today.